Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to our live mentorship class with your mentor, Dr. SM CHIRISA. I really miss the live mentorship classes. Would fill that whole auditorium full of energy, seeing your faces. I really miss that, and I cannot wait until that time when it is safe for us to have those live ones again. But we have to go on. We have to go on, and as we adapt to the new normal. So today I'm going to be speaking to you about how to stay motivated for success. How to stay motivated for success. I've been looking at people that are demotivated, looking at people that are wondering what they're going to do, looking at people that are really in confusion with the way forward. But you have to stay motivated for success. And I'm going to give you some few tips that I've used myself to remain motivated for success. So, why do you need to be motivated? The thing is this: for you to succeed, I like what Tony Robbins says. He says success is 20% mechanics or strategy or technical and 80% psychology. So what happens between your two ears is so key for your success. You might have actually the right thing, but if you don't have the right mentality, if you are not motivated, you are going to fail. Because if your mind says it can't, if your mind says it's impossible, if your mind says it's too hard, it's too hard. Whatever your mind, the reality of your mind is the reality of your business, is the reality of your mind. So you need to have a motivated mind. You need to have a motivated environment, a motivated atmosphere for you to succeed. Because when you are motivated, you've got the power to get up, to grind, to input, to work, to go through the jungle. You've got the power to go through the pond full of snakes. You are motivated, and you need to be motivated for success. Because when you are motivated, you've got the discipline to focus. Because light that is scattered never fires up the fire. So you need to be motivated for you to succeed. So anybody that you see being successful, those guys are motivated. If you see me being successful, it's because I am motivated. And so it's key. It's key for you to know, if you are not motivated, you are in trouble. I don't want to be in business with an unmotivated person. I don't want to deal with an unmotivated client. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, because motivation is everything. I know there are so many people that are putting these things on Facebook that this is a motivator, and they put a little guy who's about to hit some giant in WWF. Yes, it's good to see, it's good to smell. But in reality, if you are not motivated, you cannot get the job done. For you to get the job done, for you to succeed, for you to overcome the obstacles, for you to overcome the jungle, for you to tame that jungle, you need to be motivated, because it's key for success. It's key for success. There is no success without motivation. Let me just tell you a bit about what I call the 4 M's of success. How many? 4 M's of success. So it's a way of thinking. You must find what motivates you. So what motivates me is different from what motivates you. What motivates you is different from what motivates your partner. But it doesn't matter what motivates you. What is important is, are you motivated? So there are the 4 M's of motivation. So you need to look and say, what motivates me? What arouses me for success? And then you fire up those things. You continuously fire them up before I give you some few strategies to keep yourself motivated. So the 4 M's are these. Number 1, men or people are motivated by one of these 4 or a combination of these. I will tell you my own combination. But the first thing that motivates people is what I call mastery. Mastery. This is where you are motivated to become the very best. Where you are motivated to become number 1, where you are motivated by status. So you want to go on the top. I like what one of my mentors says. He says, the bottom is overcrowded. See you at the top, because the bottom is overcrowded. He is motivated by mastery. He is motivated by being the best. He's motivated by being on the top of the mountain. So mastery is one thing. So you can be somebody who is inspired by mastery. The professors, they are inspired by mastery. They're not inspired by money, but they're inspired by being the best, being the first one to do this. So mastery can be a motivation. If you are a person who is motivated by mastery, then you have to fire it up. You have to look for what you must master and become the best. You enter into the world 1% so that you remain fired. Number two, the second M of motivation is what I call movement. Movement. Now, when I say movement, I say some people are motivated by their freedom to move, freedom to do this, freedom to travel, freedom to be a free spirit, freedom to do what they want, freedom not to be bound by a place, bound by a country, bound by economic boundaries, bound by money. So people are motivated so that they can be free, so that they can have the movement, the freedom to move. That's the second motivation. So a lot of people are just motivated. You know what? I want to succeed because I don't want to be stuck in one place. I don't want to be stuck in one city. I don't want to be stuck in one country. I don't want to be stuck in one car. I want the freedom, and that motivates them. That motivates them. Number three, what motivates the third M in the motivation is money. Money. So the dollar bills motivate. So these are people that are motivated by the amount of money that they can make, amount of money that they can do, that they can have, and say, how much more can I earn? How much more can I make? They are motivated. Look at the billionaires. With all the billions that they have, they are still grinding. They are still waking up. They're still working 80 hours, 100 hours a week. Why are they doing it with $1 billion in their bank account? Because they are motivated by the M. They want to see how much they can have in their lifetime. And that's what motivates them. Number four is what I call mating. Now, this one, I need to explain it, being a pastor. Because some people are motivated by their appeal to the different sex. Yeah. So they are motivated. So some people, they just want to succeed so that they can dress good, so that when they are with their wives, when they are with their girlfriend, they'll be looking good. And that's the motivation. We call that mating, and it's real. So among these four M's, you are probably one or two combinations. As for me, I like number one, mastery. Number three, money. I'm motivated by money. I like money. I like money. I like big money. And I'm moving towards that. So what's your aims for motivation? So how then do you keep yourself motivated, knowing that you've got this passion, you've got these things that will motivate you, and so you have to look and say, what motivates me? And let me just give you some things that I use to motivate myself. Number one, I always revisit my dream. I revisit my dream. I am a dreamer. I am a dreamer. So everything starts with a dream. So I want to know who is in my dream. What is in my dream? I want to have the clarity of my dream. I want to know the size of my dream. I want to know where I'm dreaming from, and this is my strong one. So in my dream, I've got a nice family. I've got provisions for my family's family. So I've got my kids in there. I've got my wife in there. I've got my place that I'm staying. I've got the car that I'm driving in my dream. I've got the kind of lifestyle that I want in my dream. And when I look at that, I get fired up and say, until I'm that, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna put some energy into it, and so it keeps me fired up looking at my dream. So I revisit my dream time and time again. If the best is to revisit your dream every evening, every morning, look at your dream chart. That's why I got a dream chart. Every time I focus on it, I can put it on my phone. I can put it behind my desk. I will put it behind my toilet door. When I'm doing anything, I'm looking at my dream, and it keeps me fired up, and it can also keep you fired up as well. And the next thing that I do to keep myself fired and motivated for success is I do what I call a lifestyle budget. A lifestyle budget. So I'm looking and say, look, I then realize, look, I need to know how much I need to live the life that I want. How much is it going to cost me for my medical bills? How much is it going to cost me for my entertainment bills? How much is it going to cost me for my education bills for my kids? How much is it going to cost me for my holiday bills? How much is it going to cost me to please my wife, the diamond ring, and all those kind of things? You know what I'm saying? You need to know the real numbers. And a lot of people, they've never done the numbers for their dreams. So you need to look at what I call your lifestyle budget. So look at what you are using now. Look at what your lifestyle that you demand or that you want demands. Because when you look at that gap, that has to fire you up and say, you know what, I have to work. So I'm looking at the rent, I'm looking at the mortgage, I'm looking at insurance, I'm looking at the debt, I'm looking at all that. Break it down, put it into numbers, because that will fire you up when you see the gap and say, you know what, I cannot be rested, and yet there's so much to be done. So I always look at my numbers. I know the number that I want. And for those who usually follow me, they know that my number is 100 million US. Yeah, that's my number. I don't know what your number is. It can be $1 billion. Good for you. It can be $2 billion. Good for you. But for me, Dr. SM, it's 100 million. That's the number I'm chasing. That's the number I'm chasing. And where I am right now, I need to put some more. So I cannot sit down and fire up. I'm going for it. And I'll tell you, it's a matter of time before you hear that Dr. SM is a centimillionaire. Number 3, the next thing that I did, I actually did this. I looked at my, I went and re-looked at my will. So I say, write a will. Write a will with the things that you've got right now. Look at your shares. Look at the properties that you have. Look at the land that you have. Look at the cars. Look at the cash. Look at whatever you think is an asset. Can you write a will? What will you leave to your children? What will you leave to your spouse? What will you leave? What are you going to put? How big is going to be your will? And when you look at that, when I did that for myself a few weeks ago with my lawyer, Mr. Matimba, I said, you know what? I still need to work. It gave me a wake-up call, because sometimes you get so cool with what you have acquired. I've got this land, I've got that building, I've got this house. But when you put a will together and say, look, I'm going to leave this, I'm going to do this in case I die. I did that and I realized I got fired up. When I came from that office, I was so fired up. So you need to be writing your will right now and see whether you are going to continue sitting and watching TV. Am I talking to somebody? So I wrote a will to keep me fired up, so I know what I need to do and I know what I need to give and leave to my seed. Am I talking to somebody? Now, the next thing that you need is for you to fire up. You see, motivation can be transmitted. Motivation can be transmitted. It's like magnetism. You can take an iron rod which is not magnetic. You take something that is magnetic, that is equivalent to being motivated. You rub it, and soon both the magnet and the iron rod will be magnetic. Why? Because magnetism can be transmitted, just like motivation can be transmitted. What am I saying? You need to have a motivated mentor. You need to have a motivated mentor in your life. I don't want to hear and to listen to old dogs that are not chasing the car, yet I still want to chase the car. I'm still chasing success. So I want somebody who is motivated, who is still chasing the car. And that's why I've got one of my mentors, my dad, Bishop Tudor Bismarck. He's 63 and he's building a 10,000-seater building. Now that's being motivated. I don't want to follow people that are tired, people that have had it, people who are saying it's enough. I don't want to follow those kind of people. I want to follow and be mentored by people that are on fire. When you think, if I'm only like that, I will rest. Then when I see my dad, Bishop Tudor, on fire, pushing, grinding, building this auditorium, that's the man that I want to follow. That's the man that mentors me. So you need to get a motivated mentor, or else you are gone. When you are being mentored by somebody who's not chasing the dream, somebody who's not chasing success, you are finished. You are finished. You need somebody who is motivated to motivate you more. The next thing that you need to do is, I always tell to people, if you want to go, if you want to be motivated, do you know what you need to do? Go to a funeral. Go to any random funeral. When anybody is dead, just go. Just go. Just go. Stand there in front of the coffin and put yourself in the coffin. Attend your own funeral. Attend your own funeral. So when I want to get motivated, I look for a funeral to go to. Whether I know the person, relative, neighbor, stranger, I don't care. I go in there and say, okay, if it was me today in that coffin, what will I say to myself? What will my friends be saying about me? What will my wife say about me? What will my kids say about me? When you realize what people are going to say to you and about you when you go to a funeral, your own funeral. So you need to go into your own funeral in your mind and say, if it was me lying right there in that coffin, what will people say about me? This will motivate you because people will say nothing. Some people will just say he lived and he did nothing. He was a dreamer and he didn't achieve anything. When that is the message that is coming, when you attend your funeral, it will motivate you. So I get motivated when I attend funerals because I always put myself in the coffin and say, if it was me today, what will people say about me? And that motivates me, that fires me up, because I want people to say that this man was great. I want my children to say, this man was so great. He has left us with so much wealth that we are going to leave it to our children. I want my wife to say, this man was so great, I'm going to miss him, but he has left me being so wealthy. I want the people around me, I want the people in my country to cry. I want people to be celebrated that I've gone. I want people to cry that I'm gone. But how are you going to get motivated to do that? Put yourself in the coffin before you are in the coffin. That's how I keep myself motivated. The next thing that I do is I always visit my great moments. I always look at the moments that I did things that are great. The days that I got my accolades, the day I got my shield, the day I went for a boutique holiday. Those kind of days, I treasure them. Those moments when I look at those short videos, when I was by the beach with the colorless water, when I was at 12 Apostles Hotel, that's the kind of thing where you are eating a 1,000 rand burger. That's what I'm talking about. Those great moments when you are in a 7-star hotel. Those are the moments. They give me passion. They motivate me and say, you know what? I need to do this again. I need to do this again. The day you buy your car, the day you buy your Bentley, the day you buy your Jaguar, and these are the great moments, and you just look and say, you know what? I want this day again, and it keeps you motivated. That's what I do. So I always visit my great moments. The last thing that I want to talk about, that I do is I always measure things around me. I always measure my life. I always know, because things that get measured can increase. Things that get measured can be improved. When you do not measure what you are doing, how can you improve? If you do not measure when you are going to the gym, you have to measure your weight, because your weight will motivate you. It will tell you are doing nothing or you are doing something. But if you are saying, I'm just going to the gym, you are not measuring your waist, you are not measuring your body, you are not measuring you must measure something. So I measure everything. I measure things daily, I measure things weekly, I measure things monthly, I measure things yearly. I compare things, I compare my weight, I compare my income, I compare my margins, I compare my debt levels, I compare what I'm doing, I compare my numbers, I compare my viewership, I compare what? Because that's the only way you get motivated. When you look at the numbers, because there's something about numbers. Numbers do not lie. Numbers do not lie. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be fired up for success. You need to be motivated for success. And these are just some few tips for you business entrepreneurs in this masterclass from your mentor, Dr. SM CHIRISA. Until we meet next time, 30 days from now, bye. Remain motivated for success.